Hello, everybody. Welcome to the MAGA Exit Countdown. I am your host with the most. I am Kirsten Peck. I am the author of the book Betrayed by Trump. It is a question mark. It is an inquiry book of ideas for you to evaluate yourself, okay? I am a teacher of English and social studies in high schools in Florida, and I put together this plan of activities to help people straighten themselves out after a little bit of betrayal by President and MAGA politics. I believe they've betrayed the American dream. Unbiased opinion or way for you to test yourself, okay? And like a doctor would have a diagnostic idea of what they think is wrong, they're gonna put you through a series of tests to make sure that that is what the situation is and help figure out how to correct it, okay? So to do that, I have a MAGA compass, which is on the websites and is in all sorts of information here on the YouTube channel. The new code that we have here in my workshop area is respect and truth, because I didn't get on board with MAGA basically over the lack of respect and bullying and lying and deception and fraud. And those two things just really ran against my core values, and so that's why I just didn't participate. But we've reached a point now where we have to decide, is that going to continue as a country? And what are we going to do about it? Because elections are coming up in November, and it is time for not only President Trump and MAGA leadership, but a lot of local races and a lot of more process of how voting works. This election cycle is more of the nitty-gritty, the working time. So it's a very important election cycle. Okay, so to that, we've got 14 weeks. We passed over the 100-day mark on Sunday, and I took this as an opportunity to talk about history and the act of inquiry. Because if you start asking questions, you start picking at a problem, you break it apart into all of its little pieces. And the more you ask those questions, the better the analysis gets, and the easier it is to then find ways to make the solutions, okay? So we got this started. It's over there on the wayfindingstation.com. That's the broadcasting center that I've got set up. And I put over there the activity about Martin Luther and his 95 Theses back from 500 years ago, and the modern tie-in here to Jay-Z with his 99 Problems. Another example of making a list, and the more you make the list, the easier it gets to figure it out. So those two examples we talked about on Sunday. And as it relates to making lists, I have some follow-up here. So this, in the activity, I asked you to start making a list of questions that you have to President Trump and MAGA leadership regarding politics and all the issues, all of the promises that you were told. And not only getting to the basic questions, but when you start really kicking it up a notch and you get really deeper into the questions, it's when the higher levels of thinking happen, okay? So not only the who, what, when, where, and why, those kind of questions, but also things like comparing and contrasting. And so compare what he said he was going to do with, let's say, wars, and comparing that to what's happening in the Middle East, in Iran. Or comparing that, contrasting it, how is it different from what's happening in Ukraine? And going through those types of activities analyzing all of the topics. So compare and contrast, you examine something, you explain something, you can observe it, which is definitely what I'm asking you to do. You can take a survey things, ask people, what do they think? You can score it, which is what we're going to do in a little while. Test it, always testing things. How about defending it? If you can start to defend the president, that's showing that you are doing higher levels of thinking. You are processing more and more information, comparing more sources, and putting more things together. Ordering it, justifying it, putting it in evaluation of things, all of those higher levels of thinking. Because ultimately, you're going to have to decide, is this the place you want to stay? Are you going to continue voting for MAGA on November 3rd? Now it's 98 days away. Okay? So start making your list. That's where we're at. Okay. Tonight's session, opening it up. Here we go. Because, yes, we are talking about faith. And morals and values. And I want to go through a few of these things just to make sure we all have the same understanding. Okay? So yes, this is a little bit of instruction, but it's also a refresher. I'm not going to go deep. I just want to touch base. Okay? Because faith, faith is your belief in things. And you can have faith in yourself. I think we all need to have faith in ourselves, but also faith can be put out into different types of religions or different types of spirituality, different types of faith, okay? Then we have another term we're going to come to, morals and values. And morals and values are a little bit different because those are about things. That's more of your decision making about something. So it's the decisions, the morals of good versus evil, and the values such as respect and truth. Those are more morals and values compared to faith. The part I want to get to now is talking about ethics in business, because morals and values and faith relate also in business, in capitalism, in making money. Ethics have been written down again through thousands of years. Go look them up. They exist for a reason, because it helps make the world operate well. It makes democracy happen. It makes safety and liberty and justice for all. Okay? So ethics in business, yes, there are morals and values in the leadership, in the decisions that are made by the people who are in charge of the business. Okay? Leadership. There's also morals and values as it relates to the employees, and whether or not they're paid a decent wage, and whether or not they have safe working conditions and tools and things that they need in order to be productive as employees. Okay? There's also ethics related to the shareholders and the people who own the stock in the company, because they're wanting to make money. They're investing their money in the company, hoping to make money in it as like partnership in a team. They're participating on a team. Okay. So you see how you have to have this relationship happen. Okay. Because there also gets to be social responsibility with businesses, things like the environment. And if a company is burning and using a lot of materials that are causing pollution, then they're hurting the company, they're hurting the people, they're hurting the earth, all in the name of them making money. That's not right. Those are things that are ethics. Okay. Also, there were ethical responsibilities about things being made for the betterment of everyone. Utilitarian needs. Everyone should have access to something like clean water, that utilitarian access of things, rather than restricting access and saying, oh no, you have to have this or you have to have that. That is another ethical question that businesses come into, whether it's a select few or it's good for everybody. And those are all decisions that come into businesses. Now, I'm getting with this because we're having situations with two companies I'll talk about to show you the situation. Tesla, Elon Musk and his Tesla car company, has been having some problems with ethics, and it's been in the news, so you might have heard about it. And the other one is Target. The store, Target, has been having some issues. Their shareholders are not so happy. Their customers are not so happy. The employees are not so happy. Lots of things are happening trying to keep these businesses running. And it becomes about morals and values and how you run things. Because on the other hand, if you are silent, it means you are complicit and you are going along with it. So if you don't speak up, it must be okay. And you have to realize that if you do speak out, you're going to have risks because things are going to happen to you if you speak out. These are things that happen. And so just like in real life, it happens in business. What are we going to do? It's time to think. It's time to make some really good decisions with our hearts, with our respect goggles and our truth goggles, because that is the way that we're going to have common bounds, common ground, and the ability to negotiate peace. Okay? So what do? Okay, as a consumer, as an individual person, we can boycott it, which is when you would protest something and you'd go out and you'd picket it and you'd say, no, we're not boycotting this. Boycott. You can boycott, B-U-Y, cot, which means you buy the alternatives. So rather than buying a Tesla, go out and buy the Ford model of an electric car. Because if you're committed to having electric cars, that's a way you can stay committed to your values without contributing to someone whose values you disagree with. Okay? Also, you can cancel and comment on social. That's become a big thing because, again, social pressure has to happen. You can sell your own stock. Friends of mine, we were talking about this, and this was part of me deciding that I had to talk about it. Because a friend of mine said, yes, they sold their Tesla stock. They used to believe in it. They thought for all these years that he had these great ideas, but that he went too far, and that no, they're not keeping the Tesla stock. And it was a decision that they made because they felt better about it in their decision making. So in this question, are there things about money that you wouldn't do? Things like drug dealing to children. Things like sex trafficking, fraud, extortion, those types of things that people do to make money, illegal, legal, not legal, who's watching? Is that something that you're going to draw the line on? Because if you don't speak out, you're part of the problem. You're part of it. And here's the really sad part about this that I want to talk about, make sure you understand. The government, yes, our U.S. government has many agencies and consumer protection departments established to protect everyone, all of the common good. So things like the Federal Trade Commission to protect the stock market, and the Securities and Exchange Commission to make sure that the stock market is not being rigged and manipulated and run up by insider trading. You know, insider trading, that's illegal. Yeah, okay. The Food and Drug Administration, that whole agency is designed to keep people safe, to make sure that the pharmaceutical industry keeps drugs that are safe and tested. Consumer protection safety, things that keep track of like airbags in cars and gun manufacturing. Yeah, consumer protection. OSHA, Equal Employment Opportunity Council, labor laws, Department of Labor, Environmental Protection Agency, the Department of the EPA. Those are all agencies that were designed and dedicated with bipartisan, both parties over the past 50, 60, 70, 100 years have put those positions together to protect everyone. Everyone. And so it is about understanding how businesses operate and how money is made and how we as consumers and individual people have to be the ones to vote, have to follow the laws, have to stand up and participate. Okay? And so to this tonight, let me get to the scorecard. And the part that I am frustrated with is the corporations who are being quiet and they're going along with the game. They don't want to cause any problems. They're trying to stay out of sight. Meanwhile, stuff's getting destroyed. So, scorecard. Let's go with scorecard because this isn't me. This isn't about me. This is about you. This is you understanding. I need you to understand. First up, here's my play. This is where we're at, a Tuesday night watch party. Yeah, because here we go, scorecard. Here's my scorecard. And it's gonna have the same sort of idea that we did last week. We're going to talk through the comments, and as I go through this, you can just check mark yourself. Because not only are you scoring yourself here, week 14, President Trump, is he doing things or not? But we got to talk about JD Vance, because in the minute, God forbid, something happens to President Trump, JD is sworn in. He's the next president without a minute of thought. JD is the president. The Senate. There's a lot of senators that are up for election this year. There's a lot of governors that are up for election this year. And your mayors, all of your local races. Local, state, lots of local things here. So this is getting deeper down the MAGA ticket. I'm asking you to really look at your MAGA local candidates. All right, so leadership here, morals, values, and ethics. This is the decision making. Are you still happy? Put a check mark. If you're not, that's kind of an X. I already scored the focus on the goals because I'm sorry, the goals of the United States, and in my opinion, this is my opinion, please talk to me and disagree with me. I believe President Trump is only focused on his own family. I don't believe he is focused on the good of the people of the United States. It's my opinion. And how about yours? So, visibility on the job. Yes, is he being visible with his morals and values on the job? How about his employee treatment? Not only the cabinet, but how about his press agent and his reporters in the White House? And how about his other candidates running against him? How he treats people? How about profiteering? Does any means necessary? Are you willing to be cutthroat to make a buck? How about your community? Is there damage to the environment? Those data centers are causing a bit of an issue. And another one here, due process and laws. I'm saying those are X's no, because they have dismantled and they are closing. Doge ripped apart the watchdogs. Family and relationships. How is President Trump with his family, with his relationships? And faith. Do you think he practices his faith the way that you practice your faith? Are you still all morally aligned with this? And I'm asking you to think about it with your money. Because is there a way that money is not worth being made? Yeah. The MAGA Compass is your anonymous testing. It's on my websites. And as you see, I'm not pushing you one way or another. I'm giving you options, and I'm hoping opportunities to want to talk to me. I'm doing life coaching, helping people reestablish their identities, reestablish this sense of who you are in yourself, because that hat has made some people not so confident in themselves. When you join a group or you join a gang, you start to act like them and you quit acting like yourself. And that's not healthy. It's really not in the long run. It's really not. So tonight, here I'm to my end. My resources, this is my best resource, is to invite people. I'm in semi-retirement. I don't want to be teaching. I'm trying to write books, but I have to do this teaching. I'm here for 14 more weeks doing teaching. It's civics, it's English, it's argument writing, and it's identity, reclaiming your beautiful spirit, your gifts, your talents, not this dumb hoopla, okay? So the resources, the Wayfinding Station has all the stuff about Luther and the 95 lists. I made 95 questions. I have them, they're over there, and he can't answer them. Okay, betrayedbytrump.org, that's my website. That's got the book, that's got the compass on it. And the Leaving MAGA guide, because people need a guide. The Leaving MAGA, I'm so glad that guy has started that. Rich, I'm so in love with you. Thank you for doing that. But you guys need me too, because it's about getting back to this missing information that you need. So the Focus to Pivot course is here on my website. I'm here, let me run through everybody that I'm here for. The politically homeless. Yes, politically homeless is coming up now. MAGA voters regret, Trump voter regret. It's Reading Standard 5, Reading Standard 6, Reading Standard 8. Reading teachers, MAGA teachers, I need the teachers, come. This is such simple stuff. It's Reading Standard 5, cause and effect, come on. Okay, here's another one. Gang exit. Yes, I used to teach dropout prevention in high school and gang prevention in high school at the jail, because the kids got recruited into something they didn't understand. I can help you get out of that. Yeah, here's another one. entrepreneurship, because your passions and your gifts and your ideas are businesses. Those are schools. Let's get you back into entrepreneurship. Yes, and art therapy. Check this one out, because when you start making paint and you start putting together your crown and you start tapping into the stuff that really makes you your fantastic best, nothing will stop you. Nothing can stop you. Nothing. And so, yes, Stoic wisdom, ancient masters, ancient wisdom, because it works. It works. And champion mindset, because again, pro training, please, which professional athlete says, oh, I'm tired, I'm not feeling it today? No, you have to make the commitment to yourself. I made the commitment to myself. I'm here. 98 more days. The MAGA exit. It's happening, and I want to help you exit. I want to make this a peaceful conversation. We have to negotiate. We have to talk. We have to have a reconciliation. And the only way to do that is with respect and truth. Yeah, so I'm here. That's me. Friday morning, I'm back with a deep dive. We're going to do some more training on the reading skills and separating out the propaganda, how to spot the propaganda, media literacy, that kind of stuff's on Friday. And Sunday, watch party. I'm here 3 days a week. We have 98 days. Okay. Love you. Thank you. Thank you. Love you. All right. Bye.